Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Friday, August 5th, 2016. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The Ministry of Social Development's Gender Affairs Division, in collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank and Basic Needs Trust Fund, is facilitating a gender sensitization program under the theme, Let's Unite, Put an End to Domestic Violence. Counselor at the Gender Affairs Division is Wayne Maynard.
We are very much aware of the fact that gender-based violence, also known as domestic abuse, is one of the most taboo topics in our society today. But at the same time, while it's a very taboo topic, it is still very prevalent and at the same time, sad to say, very destructive. And we recognize as members of the Social Services Department that in order for us to really address this issue adequately, it's going to require a partnership, it's going to require some openness, it's going to require some awareness on our part of the issues that are certainly plaguing us individually and collectively as families and also as a society.
He also spoke about the effects of domestic violence.
The effects are damaging, they're both short-term and long-term, and we realize that it's going to take a partnership of building relationships, it's going to take communication, it's going to take honesty, and certainly accepting responsibility in order to help remove this scourge from our society. So certainly want to bring awareness to this and thank all those who have had a role, and certainly looking forward to long-term benefits for us being productive citizens and helping each other to remove this scourge from among us.
Maynard elaborated on the chosen topics.
One of the topics that we chose was the dealing with the generational cycle of domestic violence, because we recognize that the issue of domestic violence appears to be prevalent in families, and that's not really hard to understand why, because we certainly are creatures of habit. We learn from example, and their practices that we, some of them negative, some of them positive, some of them neutral, that we carry on in families based on what we saw our parents do, based on what we see our peers and our siblings do. And so one of the topics today is dealing with the generational issue of domestic violence and how do you break the cycle.
Consultant and evaluator for the Gender Sensitization and Awareness Program, Dr. Cherise Godwin, shared her observation of the interactive session.
What I've observed is the men and the boys in this particular meeting today are very interested, because right now we're discussing that domestic violence is not just something that happens to women but happens to men as well, and making sure that we have an understanding about how those things truly affect men as well, as far as the emotional and the psychological abuse, and not just the physical or the sexual abuse that is more reported.
The sessions were held at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall yesterday, Thursday, August 4th. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, has asked both the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force and the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force to consider special programs of engagement and reach out to the Federation's young people. During his monthly press conference on Wednesday, July 27th, Prime Minister Harris encouraged young people who are interested to become involved in the security forces. He said that can be a helpful measure to see more citizens understand the importance of law and order and directly become involved in serving their country. He thanked groups and organizations who have been active in providing support, solace, and comfort to victims of crime and have attempted to ensure that programs and activities are developed to engage young people and take them away from crime. Prime Minister Harris has publicly recognized the important interventions that experts in childcare, mental health, and parenting can make in helping to reduce crime among young people who are at or under the age of 35, a demographic that can not only accounts for approximately 65% of the population of St. Kitts and Nevis, but also disproportionately comprises both victims and perpetrators of violent crime. Young people who have positive goals should motivate themselves to work towards achieving them. That is the view of a young local businessman, owner of DC Equipment and Trucking Services, Dale Claxton.
I started with a backhoe, in 1996, 97, and I was a youngster at the time, and, the skill that I had, people decided, man, you need to get your own. So I went to, 1 or 2 banks and I got a loan, the first loan, and then I started, I spread the business from there. And, from backhoe to truck to small excavator to bigger ones, bigger trucks, it's a period. It's a building I did over the years, Take a lot of years, a lot of hard dedication, and the villagers used to say, man, Dale, you're working for the devil, man. You're going out early morning, you're coming in the night, but I had an aim, and I think if young people have an aim, they should move forward, they should pursue that,
A positive role model for youth, Claxton's work ethic and ideals have, however, not gone unnoticed.
Development Bank, that's one of the banks that I started, not the first one, but you can say the second one, and they had something with me on the internet as the youngest entrepreneur in the Federation. They had a big session in St. Kitts, and they honor me and stuff like that.
At the same time, Claxton has made the community of Stony Grove, where he grew up, the beneficiary of his success.
I decided I grew up here in Stony Grove, and I figured I wanted to give back something, and I think that others could do the same, others who come before me, and who here now, but if they don't feel like they still need to, do something for their community, I can't, talk for them. I speaking for me because, the father blessed me starting 20 years back, started a little business, and I just decided, I'm going to give back to the community, to schools that I sponsor, a few schools over the past 10, 15 years. So, this is just a part of my contribution back to society.
Claxton's most recent community service initiative is the construction of a recreational area for Stony Grove. Residents of that community say they are proud of the young entrepreneur and appreciative of the gesture. As happened last year, at least one major independence celebrations activity will be held in Nevis when the Federation observes its 33rd anniversary of independence next month. According to Win FM, that assurance is coming from Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Timothy Harris. In keeping with the decision taken by the Team Unity Cabinet last year, at least one of the major independence events will be staged in Nevis. Last year, the Team Unity government made history in this regard, for it was the first time that a major independence event, the National Service of Thanksgiving, was held in Nevis. The event to be staged in Nevis will be determined shortly, the Prime Minister said. The government is encouraging the nation's full participation in the September independence celebrations, as it is the major time in our country when we get an opportunity to demonstrate our national pride and patriotism and focus on the gifts, talents, resources, and opportunities bestowed on us by Almighty God in this land of beauty. 18 themes submitted by members of the public are being sifted through to come up with the most appropriate one for the 2016 Independence Anniversary celebrations. And that concludes this evening's presentation of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing. Good night.
Listen up. You can now join NTV on Facebook. Add us as a friend or check out the NTV Facebook fan page for updates and discussions, as well as pictures and videos. An archive of the Nevis Newscast is available on NTV on Facebook. Join us.
This one is going out to the land of my birth, Green City, Nevis.
Truly, one of the few places that has an untouched beauty that has captivated the hearts of many. Nevis is everything you imagine.